The chamber of the Galactic Concordance Council stretched before them like a cathedral of alien majesty. Crystalline walls pulsed with bioluminescent energy, reflecting the collected wisdom of 57 advanced civilizations. Holographic displays danced with intricate data streams, each representing countless star systems, conquered cultures and civilizations long since subdued. Ambassador Krulax of the Zorn Imperium stood at the central podium, his exoskeletal form a masterpiece of biological engineering. 4 arms moved with calculated precision, each manipulating holographic controls that represented centuries of galactic dominance. His species had been instrumental in creating the Council, a governing body that had systematically pacified every emerging civilization for millennia. Humanity, Krulax began, his voice a multilayered resonance that translated simultaneously across dozens of linguistic spectrums, has reached its final moment of choice. The holographic representation of Earth appeared, a blue-green marble that seemed almost fragile compared to the massive council chamber. Surrounding the planet's image were data streams detailing humanity's technological capabilities, population statistics, and resource allocations. To the alien ambassadors, these numbers told a story of an immature species on the brink of total submission. Dr. Elena Rodriguez sat perfectly still, her dark eyes reflecting no emotion. Around her, a carefully selected team represented the most diverse cross-section of human capability ever assembled. Military strategists sat alongside quantum physicists. Cultural anthropologists shared space with neural network experts. Climate engineers conversed quietly with diplomatic linguists. They were humanity's last line of defense. Krulax continued, his mandibles clicking with a rhythm that suggested absolute certainty. Your technological capabilities are marginal. Your resource management is inefficient. Your social structures are fractured. The Council has evaluated your species and found you wanting. The ultimatum unfolded with surgical precision. Complete technological disarmament. Surrender of all independent governance. Mandatory genetic restructuring to ensure compliance. Population control measures. Economic integration that would effectively erase human autonomy. You will have 48 standard cycles to comply, Krulax proclaimed. The other alien ambassadors nodded in unison, a perfectly synchronized gesture of collective judgment. Behind Elena, a young programmer named Marcus Chen caught her eye. A slight, almost imperceptible nod passed between them. To the alien observers, it would have seemed meaningless, but in that moment, it was the beginning of something the Council could not comprehend. The holographic displays continued their relentless data presentation. Humanity's weaknesses were laid bare: environmental challenges, political divisions, technological limitations. Each metric suggested total capitulation was not just possible, but inevitable. What the Council did not see were the networks already forming. The conversations happening in research labs, community centers, military installations, and university campuses across the globe. The quiet preparations, the generational resilience encoded in human DNA. Elena's hand brushed against a small device on the table, seemingly a simple communication tablet. To the alien sensors, it appeared completely ordinary. They would learn differently. Krulax finished his proclamation, expecting the typical response of fear, submission, or desperate negotiation. The chamber fell silent, waiting for humanity's representative to speak. Dr. Rodriguez looked up. Her smile was not one of defeat, but of something far more dangerous. The true response was just beginning. 30 minutes after the Council's ultimatum, the first whispers of humanity's response began to ripple across the planet. In a small apartment in Mumbai, Priya Kapoor's fingers danced across multiple holographic displays. Her work as a distributed network architect had prepared her for this moment. She wasn't a military strategist or a government official. She was something far more dangerous, a connector. Across the world, similar conversations ignited, not through official channels, but through the intricate web of human collaboration that no alien algorithm could fully comprehend. A research team in Antarctica discovered a breakthrough in quantum communication that morning. Their lead scientist, Dr. Michael Okoye, had been working on a radical theory of information transfer. The ultimatum transformed their academic research into a potential weapon of survival. In Sao Paulo, a collective of street artists, programmers, and community organizers began mapping out a communication network that defied traditional infrastructure. Each mural, each line of code, each community meeting became a node in a living, breathing system of resistance. The global response wasn't a military mobilization. It was something far more subtle and powerful. Universities worldwide began an unprecedented collaboration. Disciplines that had never spoken to each other now worked in perfect synchronization. Theoretical physicists consulted with indigenous knowledge keepers. Climate scientists partnered with AI ethicists. Every human skill became a potential solution. Marcus Chen, the young programmer from the council meeting, activated a network he had been developing for years. What appeared to be a simple social media platform was actually a sophisticated communication system. Encrypted messages began to flow, invisible to traditional monitoring systems. In low Earth orbit, satellites quietly repositioned themselves, not through military command, but through a distributed network of engineers, programmers, and space enthusiasts who had been preparing for this moment their entire lives. The Council's intelligence networks began to detect anomalies, communication patterns that made no sense, data streams that followed no logical progression. It was as if humanity had collectively decided to speak a language that couldn't be translated. Dr. Elena Rodriguez coordinated from a nondescript building in Geneva. Around her, a team that defied traditional categorization worked with machine-like precision. Military strategists sat next to environmental researchers. Linguists worked alongside quantum computing experts. "We're not going to fight," Elena explained to her team. "We're going to transform." Each member understood the depth of that statement. Humanity's strength had never been in direct confrontation. It was in adaptation, in finding solutions where none seemed to exist. Cryptocurrencies began to mutate. Economic models reshaped themselves in real time. A teenager in Lagos could trigger a financial cascade that would ripple through global markets. A retired engineer in Buenos Aires could redirect entire supply chains with a few keystrokes. The preparation was not about building weapons. It was about creating a system so complex, so adaptive, that it could not be controlled. Global communication networks began to change, not through destruction, but through creation. New protocols emerged. Information became fluid, changing faster than it could be tracked. What the Galactic Concordance Council saw as a moment of submission, humanity saw as an opportunity for evolution. The silent preparation continued. And with each passing moment, the universe was about to learn a fundamental truth about human potential. This was not going to be a war. This was going to be a revolution. The first economic attack came precisely 36 hours after the Council's ultimatum. Alien financial networks descended on human economic systems, expecting total capitulation. They found something else entirely. In a trading floor beneath Sao Paulo, Juliana Rodriguez watched multiple holographic displays with predatory focus. Her team represented a new breed of economic strategists, part mathematician, part artist, part quantum systems designer. "Incoming pressure wave," she muttered, her fingers dancing across adaptive interfaces that seemed to breathe and pulse with living intelligence. The alien economic assault was surgical, designed to isolate and crush human financial networks within minutes. Traditional economic systems would have collapsed immediately, but humanity had been preparing for something far beyond traditional defense. Dr. Weichong, leading a distributed team of economic researchers, had spent years developing what they called liquid economics. It wasn't just a financial strategy. It was an entirely new way of conceptualizing value, exchange, and economic movement. As alien algorithms probed human financial systems, they encountered something impossible to comprehend. Economic nodes spawned and dissolved in microseconds. Value transformed faster than it could be tracked. What appeared to be a weakness became an impenetrable defense. A cryptocurrency developed by a collective of mathematicians in Kenya began to mutate, not randomly, but with a complexity that suggested nearly sentient behavior. Each transaction became a puzzle, each economic node a potential gateway to something larger. In the markets of Mumbai, traders who had survived generations of economic uncertainty began to move resources in patterns that defied traditional logic. A spice merchant could trigger a financial cascade that would ripple through global networks. A small technology startup in Bangalore could redirect entire supply chains with a few lines of code. The alien economic warriors found themselves fighting a hydra. Every time they attacked one economic node, two more would emerge in unexpected locations. Marcus Chen's communication network played a crucial role. What appeared to be simple social media messages contained complex economic instructions. A meme could contain instructions that would redirect millions in resources. A seemingly innocent video could trigger economic transformations across continents. Dr. Elena Rodriguez watched the global economic dance from her coordination center. Around her, screens showed a living, breathing representation of human economic resistance. It wasn't about blocking the alien assault. It was about turning the assault into something completely unrecognizable. "We're not defending," she explained to her team. "We're rewriting the entire concept of economic interaction." Universities worldwide joined the economic resistance. Economists worked alongside artists. Mathematicians collaborated with community organizers. Each discipline became a potential weapon of economic transformation. The alien financial networks began to report impossible readings, economic signals that existed and didn't exist simultaneously, computational paradoxes that broke their most advanced tracking systems. What the Galactic Concordance Council saw as a financial assault, humanity saw as an opportunity for economic reimagination. Juliana Rodriguez allowed herself a slight smile. On her screens, economic nodes danced and transformed, each movement a testament to human creativity. The economic labyrinth was just beginning to take shape, and the universe was about to learn that humanity's greatest strength was its ability to turn limitations into opportunities. This was not an economic battle. This was an economic revolution. The first diplomatic transmission from Earth arrived exactly 72 hours after the Council's ultimatum. It was nothing like anyone expected. Ambassador Lai Wei stood before the holographic council chamber, a study in calculated calm. Behind her, a backdrop that seemed to shift and change, not through technological manipulation, but through an impossibly complex visual composition that defied standard perception. Her opening statement came in 57 simultaneous languages, each transmission subtly different. To the alien linguists, it was a nightmare of semantic complexity. "We acknowledge your communication," she began, "and invite further dialogue." The words were simple. The implications were anything but. Dr. Aisha Okoye, humanity's lead communication strategist, had spent months preparing this moment. Her team represented a radical approach to diplomatic interaction, part linguistics expert, part cognitive psychologist, part creative artist. Each diplomatic message became a multi-layered puzzle. What appeared to be a straightforward communication contained nested meanings that would take years to fully decode. A single paragraph could hold contradictory information that would challenge the most advanced alien translation systems. In research centers around the world, linguists and communication experts worked on what they called adaptive language protocols. These were not simple translation systems. They were living, breathing communication networks that could reshape themselves in real time. A team in Buenos Aires developed communication algorithms that drew inspiration from biological systems. How do cells communicate? How do ecosystems share information? These became the foundation of humanity's communication strategy. The Council's intelligence networks began to fracture. Their operatives, trained to understand submission and control, couldn't comprehend the complexity of human communication. Rumors began to spread across alien networks, stories of human resilience that seemed to grow more complex with each retelling. Each narrative became a weapon more potent than any traditional communication. Marcus Chen's global network played a crucial role. What appeared to be simple social media posts contained layers of geopolitical messaging. A meme could carry diplomatic instructions. A seemingly innocent video could contain complex strategic information. Dr. Elena Rodriguez coordinated from her central command center. Around her, screens showed a living representation of global communication. It wasn't about sending a message. It was about creating a communication ecosystem that was alive, adaptive, and impossible to fully comprehend. "We're not just communicating," she explained to her team. "We're rewriting the entire concept of diplomatic interaction." Indigenous knowledge keepers worked alongside quantum communication experts. Artists collaborated with diplomatic strategists. Each perspective became a potential breakthrough in communication strategy. The alien observation teams detected something unprecedented. Human communication didn't follow any standard pattern. It was fluid, changing, almost organic in its complexity. Ambassador Lai Wei's diplomatic team understood a fundamental truth. Communication was not about sending a message. It was about creating a shared understanding that transcended traditional boundaries. With each transmission, the Council found itself more confused. Their advanced translation systems reported increasingly complex results. What should have been a simple diplomatic exchange became a multi-dimensional puzzle. Aisha Okoye watched the diplomatic exchanges with a slight smile. On her screens, communication networks danced and transformed, each movement a testament to human creativity. The psychological warfare was just beginning, and the universe was about to learn that humanity's greatest strength was its ability to turn communication into an art form of resistance. This was not a diplomatic exchange. This was a communication revolution. The breakthrough came from an unexpected place. Dr. Akira Chen's research facility sat nestled in the mountains of New Zealand, a place where cutting-edge quantum research met indigenous knowledge systems. Her team represented a radical approach to technological development, part quantum physicist, part cultural anthropologist, part systems philosopher. "We're not building a weapon," Akira explained to her diverse team. "We're creating a new way of understanding information itself." The project had begun years ago, long before the Council's ultimatum. A collaborative effort that bridged disciplines most scientists would never consider combining. Quantum mechanics met neural network design. Indigenous knowledge systems intertwined with advanced computational theory. Their current experiment involved something the scientific community had considered impossible: creating a communication network that could process information in ways that defied traditional computational logic. A young researcher named Maya Rodriguez noticed the first anomaly. The quantum network they were developing seemed to be learning. Not in the way artificial intelligence typically learned, but in a more organic, almost living manner. The team had been studying how human neural networks processed information, not just as a computational exercise, but as a deeply holistic understanding of consciousness, communication, and adaptation. Their quantum algorithm began to show impossible characteristics. It could exist in multiple states simultaneously. It could communicate complex ideas through patterns that resembled more biological systems than traditional computational networks. In research centers around the world, similar breakthroughs began to emerge. A team in Nairobi discovered how to encode complex information into biological systems. Researchers in Buenos Aires developed communication protocols inspired by ecosystem interactions. The Galactic Concordance Council's monitoring systems began to detect something unprecedented: communication signals that didn't follow any known technological pattern. Information streams that seemed to defy the basic laws of physics. Dr. Elena Rodriguez coordinated the global research effort from her central command center. Around her, screens showed a living representation of technological evolution. It wasn't about creating a better computer. It was about reimagining the entire concept of information transfer. "We're not developing technology," she explained to her team. "We're creating a new language of existence." The quantum network developed by Akira's team could do something remarkable. It could process information through context, emotion, and collective understanding. Traditional computational systems looked at data. This system seemed to understand it. Marcus Chen's global communication network played a crucial role. What appeared to be simple data transfers contained complex, adaptive information patterns. A seemingly random network of communications could contain sophisticated strategic information. The alien technological observers found themselves confronting an impossible scenario. The human technological development didn't follow any standard pattern of progression. It was fluid, changing, almost organic in its complexity. Akira watched the technological evolution with a sense of wonder. On her screens, quantum networks danced and transformed, each movement a testament to human creativity. "Look," she said to Maya, pointing at a particularly complex data pattern. "We're not just processing information. We're creating a new way of understanding reality itself." The technological singularity was just beginning. The quantum network developed by her team was more than a communication system. It was a living, breathing entity that challenged everything the Council understood about technology, consciousness, and potential. The alien technological warriors had come expecting to find a primitive communication system. Instead, they encountered something that would reshape their understanding of intelligence itself. This was not technological development. This was a technological revolution. The transformation began with a single conversation in a small community center in Johannesburg. Naledi Mandela, a community organizer with generations of resistance in her blood, looked around the room. Indigenous knowledge keepers sat beside quantum physicists. Climate scientists conversed with street artists. Local farmers discussed complex systems theory with neural network researchers. "We are not fighting," Naledi said, her voice carrying the weight of historical struggle. "We are creating." Across the planet, similar conversations ignited, not through official channels, but through the intricate web of human connection that no alien algorithm could fully comprehend. In the Arctic research stations, climate scientists began developing communication protocols that drew from indigenous navigation techniques. Their work merged cutting-edge environmental research with traditional knowledge passed down through generations. A collective of musicians in Rio de Janeiro discovered they could encode complex strategic information into musical compositions. What appeared to be simple rhythms contained layers of global communication. A drum beat could carry diplomatic instructions. A melody could communicate technological insights. Dr. Elena Rodriguez watched the global collaboration from her coordination center. The screens around her showed something unprecedented. A living, breathing global consciousness taking shape. Universities worldwide abandoned traditional disciplinary boundaries. Theoretical physicists consulted with indigenous storytellers. Artificial intelligence experts worked alongside traditional healers. Each human skill, each cultural perspective became a potential solution to the global challenge. Marcus Chen's communication network played a crucial role. What seemed like random social media interactions contained sophisticated global coordination. A meme could trigger a worldwide research initiative. A seemingly innocent video could mobilize a global problem-solving effort. In the mountains of Peru, a group of agricultural researchers developed a communication system inspired by how ecosystems share information. Their work merged cutting-edge agricultural technology with traditional farming knowledge that had survived for thousands of years. The Galactic Concordance Council's observation systems began to detect something impossible to comprehend. Human communication didn't follow any standard pattern of interaction. It was fluid, adaptive, almost organic in its complexity. Priya Kapoor, the network architect from Mumbai, coordinated a global research initiative that defied traditional understanding. Her team included everyone from teenage programmers to retired engineers. Each perspective was valuable. Each voice mattered. "We are not a single civilization," Priya explained to her global team. "We are a living, breathing network of potential." Indigenous knowledge from Australia merged with quantum computing research from Germany. Traditional healing practices from Korea informed neural network development in Canada. A textile artist in India could provide insights that would revolutionize communication technology. The global chorus was not about uniformity. It was about celebrating the most diverse, complex network of human potential ever assembled. Dr. Akira Chen watched the global collaboration with a sense of wonder. On her screens, human networks danced and transformed, each movement a testament to collective creativity. "Look," she said to her research team, "we're not just solving a problem. We're reimagining what it means to be a collected species." The alien observers found themselves confronting an impossible scenario. Humanity wasn't a single civilization. It was a complex, adaptive network that could reshape itself faster than any known system of communication or organization. This was not a global response. This was a global awakening. The universe was about to learn that humanity's greatest strength was its ability to turn diversity into an unbreakable form of collective intelligence. The final assault began precisely as the alien strategists had calculated. 57 advanced civilizations focused their entire technological might against humanity. Fleet networks prepared, communication systems aligned. Every sensor, every weapon, every strategic algorithm pointed towards Earth with absolute certainty of victory. They found something else entirely. Admiral Krelax of the Zorn Imperium watched in growing confusion as their invasion networks began to disintegrate. What should have been a surgical strike became a cascade of impossible scenarios. Their weapon systems turned into communication channels. Navigation networks transformed into adaptive learning systems. Each attack became an opportunity for humanity to demonstrate something fundamental about existence. Dr. Elena Rodriguez coordinated from a seemingly simple command center in Geneva. Around her, a team that defied traditional military understanding worked with machine-like precision. Cultural anthropologists sat beside quantum physicists. Indigenous knowledge keepers worked with advanced technology experts. "We're not going to fight," Elena had explained earlier. "We're going to understand." The alien invasion encountered networks that refused to be invaded. Communication systems that learned and adapted faster than any known technological system. Each attempt to breach human defenses revealed more about the invaders than about humanity. Marcus Chen's global communication network became something beyond a simple information system. It was a living, breathing entity that could transform faster than it could be tracked. A single message could redirect entire technological systems. A seemingly random data stream could neutralize advanced weapon networks. In the research centers of Nairobi, a team led by Dr. Aisha Okoye had been preparing for this moment. Their work merged advanced quantum computing with deep ecological understanding. They had developed communication protocols that could turn invasion networks into collaborative systems. The alien fleet found its most advanced weapon systems transforming. Weapon signatures became poetry. Invasion protocols turned into invitations for dialogue. Each attack became an opportunity for understanding. Priya Kapoor's network architecture revealed its true potential. What appeared to be simple communication networks were actually complex adaptive systems that could reshape themselves instantaneously. A potential point of invasion became a gateway for communication. Dr. Akira Chen watched the technological dance with scientific fascination. On her screens, technological networks transformed, each movement a testament to human creativity and adaptability. "We're not defending," she explained to her team. "We're demonstrating a new way of existing." The Galactic Concordance Council found itself facing an impossible scenario. Humanity wasn't resisting. It was reimagining the entire concept of conflict. Naledi Mandela's global collaborative network played a crucial role. Community organizers, researchers, artists, and scientists had created a system of resistance that was more about understanding than fighting. Admiral Krelax received a communication that defied all his training. It wasn't a surrender. It wasn't a threat. It was an invitation to understand. The invasion became a conversation. The conflict transformed into an opportunity for mutual comprehension. Elena Rodriguez allowed herself a slight smile. On her screens, technological networks danced and transformed, each movement a testament to human potential. This was not a military victory. This was a fundamental reimagining of what conflict could mean. The universe was about to learn that humanity's greatest strength was its ability to turn potential destruction into an opportunity for collective growth. The aftermath was nothing like anyone had predicted. 57 alien civilizations found themselves fundamentally transformed. What began as an attempt to subjugate humanity became the most profound moment of collective evolution in galactic history. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood before the reconstituted Galactic Concordance Council. The chamber that once represented centuries of oppressive control now looked like a living, breathing ecosystem of communication and possibility. "We're not here to replace your system," she began, her words resonating across multiple linguistic and technological spectrums. "We're here to reimagine it." The transformation was subtle yet profound. Technological systems that once represented control now became platforms for mutual understanding. Communication networks that had been designed for surveillance became channels of collaborative exploration. Dr. Akira Chen's quantum communication research became the foundation of a new galactic interaction model. The system she had developed with her global team could translate not just language, but context, emotion, and collective experience. Naledi Mandela's collaborative networks had shown something revolutionary. Conflict was not something to be conquered, but an opportunity for mutual growth. Indigenous knowledge systems from around the world became crucial in redesigning galactic diplomatic approaches. Marcus Chen's communication platforms evolved into something far beyond traditional information networks. They were living systems of collective intelligence, capable of adapting and growing in real time. The alien civilizations discovered something unexpected. Humanity wasn't seeking dominance. They were offering a fundamentally different way of existing. Priya Kapoor's network architecture became a model for galactic collaboration. Her systems could connect vastly different civilizations, finding common ground where none seemed to exist. A communication method that celebrated difference rather than attempting to eliminate it. Admiral Krelax, once the most ardent opponent of human potential, now found himself a key advocate for this new approach. The Zorn Imperium's most advanced strategists worked alongside human researchers, developing communication protocols that defied their previous understanding of interaction. The reconstituted council was no longer a system of control. It became a platform for collective evolution. Universities across the galaxy began to reimagine education. Disciplines that had been separate now found themselves in constant dialogue. A quantum physicist might work alongside a traditional storyteller. A climate researcher could collaborate with an artist from a completely different civilization. Dr. Aisha Okoy's linguistic research became the foundation of a new form of galactic communication. Her team had developed systems that could translate not just words, but the entire context of cultural experience. The technological systems developed by human researchers became gifts, not weapons. Each advancement was an invitation to understand, to grow, to evolve together. Elena Rodriguez looked around the transformed council chamber. The holographic displays now showed living networks of communication, each pulse representing a new possibility of connection. "We are not separate," she explained to the assembled representatives. "We are a collective potential waiting to be understood." The alien civilizations began to see something they had never considered. Humanity's greatest strength was not in its technological capabilities or military might. It was in its ability to transform potential conflict into an opportunity for mutual understanding. Worlds that had been isolated for millennia now found themselves connected in ways no one could have imagined. Communication became a living, breathing entity. Conflict became a chance for growth. The universe had expected humanity to be conquered. Instead, it witnessed a fundamental reimagining of what collective existence could mean. This was not an ending. This was a beginning.